What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the markets are pretty boring today. Not much going on in terms of the closing price. S&P 500 pretty much broke even. Dow Jones went up 0.2%. Nasdaq 100 also broke even, as the Russell 2000 on the flip side ended up going up like crazy, up over 1.7% on the day. And today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys what I did in the stock market today, and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to join the Strive Smart Discord chat and the Facebook group. Get yourself 4 stocks from WeBull and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So let's talk. What happened today? Well, I said the closing price was pretty boring. Again, we pretty much broke even across the board other than the Russell. But when you look at the actual action, it wasn't that boring. I mean, we did have some volatility. You guys can see here on the S&P 500, we ended up gapping down, or actually we gapped up considering we closed at 3,800 yesterday roughly. We gapped up to about 3,805, ran to about 3,805 in the morning, and then we ended up dumping all the way down to about 3,790, back up to 3,810. Then we saw a pretty big drop from 3,810 down to about 3,775. That was a drop of close to 0.9%, and then we ended up closing the day on an upswing. So there was a lot of volatility despite the markets breaking even. And what you notice here on the 5-day, 5-minute is that head and shoulder that we talked about yesterday. Remember, guys, we talked about this yesterday. That ended up playing out today, right? We saw the left shoulder here on the 7th of January, the head here on the 8th of January, and yesterday we started seeing the right shoulder forming. And today, on that drop-off of close to 0.9% that we just mentioned on the intraday chart, you guys can see that completed the right shoulder pretty much, right? It gapped down all the way to 3780, which was that resistance from back on the 6th of January. And now we're just, again, rallying. We did rally into the close, and now we're floating right under 3810, which is a pretty big resistance considering today we failed at that point several times. So for tomorrow, this is key, guys. The bears, or actually the bulls, are not full in control quite yet. In fact, honestly, they're not going to be in control until they break 3810. So 3810 must break, and 3820, I'd say, needs to break for us to probably get to that all-time high and back into this uptrend, or for the continuation of the uptrend that you guys are seeing here on the hourly chart to confirm. And at this point, we're just consolidating, right? We're not completely crashing through the floor, and we're not rallying up quite yet, and it makes sense. And there goes Siri talking to me again. What the heck, Siri? I'm not talking to you. It's weird. Sometimes this watch talks to me. But anyway, we're not breaking out yet. We're not really dropping down either. We're just consolidating in this tight range between 3810 and about 3780 and about 3810. That's where we are right now on the S&P. So watch out for those levels. And when it comes to the Dow, you guys are seeing very similar patterns, right? You're seeing consolidation over the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days here on the Dow. Straight up consolidation, resistance at 31,200 and support at about 3,100. So we're in this tight little 200-point window on the Dow Jones. You guys can see it here on the 5-day, 5-minute. So I'd like to see tomorrow, the next day, the rest of this week, next week, what are we going to do? Are we taking out 31,200, hitting that higher high, all-time high again? Or are we going to dump under 31,000, fill the gap down at 30,800, maybe down to about 30,600, which is where I think in the short term, if we do drop, that is where I think the Dow Jones could be headed. So that is the Dow. Nasdaq 100, you guys can see here we went down 0.08% today, and based on this hourly chart, we're holding the uptrend. We're actually holding this 50 SMA here and this 12,800 level, which was a resistance back in the middle of December and back in the beginning of January. it was a resistance, and now it's holding that level as a new support. That is a pretty good sign that we want to start the ascension back up to maybe all-time highs. We want to continue this uptrend, but we're not quite there yet because you guys can see on the 5-day, 5-minute, we're still in this little 2-day downtrend, so we need to see this break on the 5-day, 5-minute. We need to see this right here, what I just drew, a break out of the 180 SMA resistance. If that happens, that is where we could see a farther push in the Nasdaq 100. And shout out to the Russell, guys. This thing is continuing its craziness. It's up over 2,100 now, up almost 2% today, and it hit an all-time high today at 2128.39. And an ETF I've been talking about here on the channel, which I own. I haven't bought it in a couple months. I've just been letting my position ride. It's IJR. Check it out. This is actually a great small cap ETF to have if you guys do want exposure. And of course, do your own due diligence, do your own research, but that's one that I personally own. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think about the market? What do you think about pulling down in the markets? Are we going to be going higher? And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. A lot of you guys actually watch the videos based on my analytics without actually subscribing. So if that's you, come on, subscribe to the channel. Come on, hit that red button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into what I personally did today. And I actually have some positions open from yesterday, but a new day trade I took part in today was in NEO, ticker symbol NIO. We were talking about this one in the Discord earlier, and we've been talking about it. Who hasn't been talking about NEO? And I was watching this one pretty closely pre-market. I mean, I was glued onto this stock pre-market and at market open. And we can see exactly what happened here. This thing ended up erupting, and it was very volatile as the markets did open. We saw it ran up from about $60 in the pre-market session at 9 a.m. on the East Coast. It ran up to about $61. It opened up at $61.50, popped up to $62.32, and this is exactly where I got in. I checked my brokerage. It was at 6:46 a.m. on the dot. I got in at $61.05. So we saw this drop off, right? That was at 9:32 a.m. It popped up to $62. That was at 9:40 a.m. And look at where it was right around 9:46 a.m. here on the East Coast, $61.05. This is where I got in on NEO. I bought it here on the dip. It popped up. I rode through some pain. I did not sell. Again, I got in at $61.05. It got down to about $60.40. I did not sell. I held through pain. And then we ran back up, and I actually sold out once. It was like 10:02 a.m. It was at $62.47. And I wasn't expecting, or actually, no, it was at $61.47. And I wasn't expecting this massive push like this. This was insane. I mean, who did, right? But that is where we ended up, day trading NEO today, in and out. And overall, what we can see here on this 5-day, 5-minute is NEO, and it's still there. I mean, it's holding this wedge from the past couple of days. It's really been 2 days. It's holding this wedge here. It's making lower highs at the same time as it is making, higher lows. So this is going to be interesting, right? Are we going to break out of this resistance, which I could have held my shares, honestly, guys, for this breakout, which could be coming one of these days, but I didn't because we haven't fully broken out yet. And again, that's the question. Are we going to break out? If we do, from 64, maybe we go 65, 66 again, or if we break the support here, which would be under 61, anything under $60, we might be going, honestly, guys, down to about $55. That could be a spot where overall we could end up seeing a move here on NEO. And now that I'm looking at my notes, it was 61.05 is where I got in, but it was 62.47. So it was 62.47 where I did get out. So that was from 61.05 to 62.47. That was about a 2.3% move. So right on par there with what I like to hit. My daily goal, I don't always hit it, guys. Obviously, you can't hit every goal, but I like to get maybe 1, 2, 3% per day That's an average, right? And that's what I was hitting for, and I hit that today. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm also still in Amazon AMZN. This is one that I got in yesterday at 31.50. Did not sell anything, did not buy anything. I'm just holding on to my Amazon here. This is a swing trade, longer term swing trade for me. Same with Workhorse, and honestly, same thing with SLV, which are my other two holdings. Workhorse ended up going down about 3% today. I'm in at $22. You guys can see we are struggling, breaking out of $28. We're right around 25-ish. We'll see if that holds at this higher low here, right over the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. And when it comes to SLV, this one does look like it's recovering after its dip. It actually dipped from about $26 to about $23. We're recovering there now. And honestly, I can see this thing go back to 25 plus. So watch out for SLV, Workhorse, Amazon. Those are ones I'm in, and NEO is one that I got in and out of today. And honestly, I'm still watching NEO for these next couple of days, no doubt about it. So let me know in the comments, what did you guys do today? What are you up to in general in the markets? I would love to know as always. Now let's talk about some stocks. I have 7 stocks here to buy now. And if you guys stick till the end, we're going to talk about some bonus ones as well. So make sure to stick till the end. And stock number 1 is TTCF, also known as Tattooed Chef. And you guys know it's arguable that maybe YouTube, all these YouTubers talking about TTCF, maybe that brought a lot of hype to the stock. I mean, it probably did. I'm not sure if that pushed up the stock. But ever since a lot of YouTubers started talking about TTCF, and I guess I'm guilty because I was talking about it at $18, $19, although my channel is not nearly as big as some of the other YouTubers talking about it. I guess you can say, again, I am guilty of talking about it. But ever since we talked about it, and a bunch of other YouTubers talked about it as well, this thing has gone bananas. It's gone from $18 to $27, and it's been pulling down. It did pull down from $27 to about $22.50. That was a drop of 15%. It consolidated there for a couple of days. You guys can see it here on the hourly chart. That's actually a lot of consolidation, believe it or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, today's the breakout day, but 9 days, guys, no joke, 9 trading days of consolidation on TTCF, and today we broke out of 24.50, which is that it's been the resistance that's been plaguing TTCF these past couple of days, really 10 trading days. So that's a good sign now that we're getting out of the consolidation phase. The fact that we broke out today, we're getting out of this consolidation phase, and we want to fill the gap maybe all the way up to 26.75. And today we did. If you didn't get in, I mean, I didn't get in either, but we missed a little bit of the move. We did. Again, it went up 6% today, but I think there still is some momentum from here, 25.40, even if it pulls down to $25 flat, which it looks like it is here after market. It's down to 25.20. Even from here, guys, I think we could see momentum up to $27 plus, and who knows? I mean, we've tested 28, 27 4 or 5 times in the past. Who knows? This could be this test that we're going to see likely here in the next couple of days. This test could be the one where we break out and maybe go to 29, maybe $30 plus here on Tattooed Chef. So watch it. Is very, very important in my opinion to keep an eye on this one. There's a lot of momentum. Same with Walmart. Walmart is not as crazy, you could argue. I mean, if you think it's as crazy as Tattooed Chef in terms of, movement, you're pretty crazy, because it's not. It's a bit more stable. But you could argue it's one worth watching as well, which is why it is stock number 2 in today's video. And today it went up 1.14%, up almost $1.70. And now, finally, guys, and we've talked about this one before, but now with today's price action, we are finally out of the next resistance, or the main resistance that it needed to break for it to fully be breaking out, right? We were under the 180 SMA. In fact, I'm wrong on that. Yesterday we broke out. So these past 2 days we've seen a breakout above the 180 SMA at about 148, and now we're holding above it, almost closed at 149. So this is a good sign that we want to keep on trucking along. This uptrend wants to continue, and Walmart, who knows, guys, it might want to go 150 plus. I think that is where we're going, especially if we could break the resistance from back in the beginning of September, back in the beginning of November. That's where we got rejected at 151, 152. If we could break that, I think Walmart is off to the races. And overall, even where it is now, 149, I think this is a pretty solid one to keep an eye out on if you do like or if you do in general have more of a swing trading approach. This one could be one for you. And Palantir, we haven't talked about this in a while here. Palantir is a company that got a lot of government contracts. We have a big event coming up here on the 26th of January. It's called Live Demo Day, and this is actually its inaugural event, which is going to be on January 26th, 2021. And it's actually going to be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And this is Palantir's product demos will include, or actually what we're going to be seeing here includes its Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo platforms. Product leads will show the latest releases of each platform and describe the upcoming research and development roadmap for 2021. Palantir will cover examples of its commercial and government work. So we're going to get some insight into the business here. That is about 2 weeks away from now, so who knows? We could see some hype heading into that. And if we do get some good news in terms of that event, hey, this could be a breakout. And I mean, this has been really dropping the past couple of days, and really it's been almost 2-3 weeks now. It's been dropping ever since the end. It's really ever since Christmas time, right back in the end of December. It went from $29, $23. It held the higher low here. It's moving above the moving averages, and now we're about to test the resistance of this wedge, and this is going to be a big spot. Are we going to break out of this, maybe go 27, 28 on Palantir? I think that's possible. And the second, let's say it breaks, I'd probably say $27, $28. That is where I think we're going to see a lot of momentum, maybe to the upside. So watch out for Palantir here. But again, don't get caught into it, because if we get rejected, this is a risk here. We might be going right back to $24, $23, so be careful in that case. And another one here that I'm watching, which we got some good news a couple days ago on Twitter about, this is Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE. And this is one, hold up, let me just minimize my face here a little bit, guys. I feel like I am a little bit too big on the screen. But this one, Virgin Galactic, is one that we saw they had an aborted mission a couple weeks ago. And on Twitter a couple days ago, they came out saying, following our test flight on December 12th, 2020, we have completed the post-flight inspections and root cause analysis of what caused the onboard computer to halt ignition of the rocket motor. Corrective actions have been defined and work is already underway. And they also said this, once this corrective work has been implemented and verified, we will confirm our pre-flight timeline for the next test flight and share expected dates for when the flight window will open. So we had the aborted mission, the stock cratered, it went down from $37 to $23. And we've covered it in the past couple of weeks. We've said it's holding 23. That's a good sign. $24, $25. That's a good sign. And now it seems like it's found a temporary bottom. We're now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of the next test flight, although we don't know exactly when it is. It's a good sign that we're seeing that, and the corrective measures are in place, and the stock's running on it, on that news, right, and on the anticipation of the next flight. And I could see this being $30 plus again, especially if we have a successful next test flight. And today it went up 7%, closed at $26.70 roughly, and it broke the 180 SMA. It hit a higher high in its uptrend. And we're actually about to test a big level, right around $27, $28. This resistance that we got hit at back on the 24th, 23rd of December. So if that could break in the short term here, I think that is where Virgin Galactic could see another leg up, probably to $30 plus. So I'm watching Virgin Galactic here. A lot of hype is, I don't want to say a ton of hype is building up, but anticipation, that's a better word. Anticipation is building up with this one. And NNDM is another one here, which is similar kind of to that Palantir pattern that we saw, that wedge where we're trying to break out of the resistance. You guys can see it here on NNDM, and the only difference is NNDM is actually, well, it's not fully broken out, but it's further along the process, let's say, compared to Palantir, right? It's broken out of the resistance. We actually broke it at 9:30. Now we're trading at 9:55 in the aftermarket session. And I think if we can get above 970, 975 here on Palantir, which is a resistance stemming back from a couple days ago, and we got hit there 2-3 times in the past couple of days, including today, I think if that could break 975, 980, NNDM, honestly, could end up getting to $10 plus and probably back up with how hype it is up to $10.50. Who knows? And another thing worth noting with this stock is offerings, right? You guys have to be careful. I mean, there's not much you can do about it. These offerings come out of nowhere. I mean, we expect them sometimes, but if you're in the stock and the direct offering news comes out and the stock drops, there's not much you can do about it. But let's say they do have another direct offering and you're not in the stock, maybe that could be a time to get in as well. As we've seen after every direct offering, the stock has dipped, it's consolidated a bit, and it's run up even more. So watch out for NNDM. And one here that I haven't talked about in such a long time, if ever. I mean, you guys probably weren't even following me last time I covered MU. It was like 2 years ago. And I actually had a position in MU a while ago. Wow, this is probably like 4 years ago. 3-4 years ago I had a position, and I sold out for a loss. And now it's well above where I was originally at. So that could be a lesson. Sometimes don't cut your positions, prematurely. And I'm sure I had a reason to cut MU. It was 4 years ago, so I don't really remember exactly. I probably wanted to put my money elsewhere. But yeah, now that I'm looking back, hey, if I kept my shares at like $40 they were at, I would be at a 2x right now. But it's okay, guys. You live and you'll learn. And recently, we got some earnings from MU. Revenue came in at $5.77 billion versus $5.73 billion. They beat revenue. And EPS, adjusted EPS, came in at 0.78 versus 0.71. So a double beat there on earnings. Revenue and EPS both beat. And we got some strong guidance as well from MU. And you guys can see the stock actually went up from $76 to $84 on that earnings play, or on that earnings news. It went up 7%. And since then, it actually sold off a bit. It shook out some weak hands. RSI came down. And we're actually, with today's price action and yesterday's price action, we're actually holding the uptrend here on the 4-hour chart at a higher low based on this 50 SMA. And you guys can see it here as well on the hourly chart on the 180 SMA. So I think overall, this could be a dip on MU to keep an eye out on. And although we don't always just buy stocks, I don't advise you guys to buy stocks on analyst recommendations, right? That's not the best thing to do. You guys have to take analyst, price targets, all that stuff with a grain of salt. Sometimes it's great seeing it, though, right? It's great seeing stocks get upgraded, although we don't just buy them based on that, if that makes any sense. And in this case with Micron, we got a lot of upgrades. KeyBank maintains overweight on MU. They raised their price target to $121. Needham maintains buy on MU. They raised their price target to $100. And Wedbush also raised the price target from $82 to $88. So a lot of these firms, they're bullish. They are having very high price targets compared to where the stock is right now. And I like that. That is pretty solid, although, again, we don't just buy it simply because of that. There's a lot more that goes into it. But overall, MU, I'm watching this dip. I think we could maybe see a move back over $80. And Qualcomm, another similar company here, is one that I'm also watching. We actually called this one out of this wedge ascending triangle. We squeezed out of there last time we talked about it. Since last time we talked about it, from 155, we went up to about 160, got rejected there, and now we're looking to retest 153, 154, that old resistance, as a new support. And you guys can see it here if I extend this to the right. You guys can see we are holding that as of now right around 154. So I'm looking at this dip on Qualcomm maybe for a play up to 160. And I really think if we break, if we break 160, that is where we could see another big leg up. I'm not sure how big, but with earnings coming up here, it looks like in February, so 2-3 weeks away with earnings coming up, who knows? We could see a leg up over 160, 165, maybe 170. So I'm watching Qualcomm for that. And if you guys stayed till the end of the video, let me know in the comments if you did. Shout out to you. We're going to be talking about some bonus stocks right now. One of them being Facebook, ticker symbol FB. A lot of you guys have been asking me about Facebook stocks, or buy Facebook, this, that, the third. What should I do? And Facebook is obviously dropping now because of the pressure overall on big tech. I mean, we've seen Facebook drop, Apple drop, pretty much all of them. Amazon, Google, Microsoft. Now that we have, pretty much all Democrats running the House, the Senate, and the presidency, right? So that's putting some pressure under big tech here, especially Facebook. And overall, the trend that we were looking at originally, it broke. This wedge broke to the downside, which is not too great. And I'm not too happy about that, looking at it as a long play. And on this yearly chart, we're actually also breaking the 180 SMA, which has been support as well. So I don't want to say I'm nervous about Facebook, and sure, it could be a dip buy here, but in terms of my strategy where I like buying in to, stocks that have upwards momentum, that have confirmed the breakout, Facebook just does not fit that criteria for me. So I'm not looking at it quite yet until we, let's say, rebound back into the 250s, high 250s, 260s. I don't want to play it. And plus, earnings are coming up, and I'm not a big earnings gambler. I don't like buying stocks before earnings and hoping they do well. That's just not my game. But overall, just watch out for Facebook, guys. Big tech in general, it is worth watching, although I'm not looking to pick up shares quite yet. And honestly, guys, to be fully transparent, in my M1 finance portfolio, which I will make a video on this soon, I actually completely sold out of my Facebook when we got that Democratic sweep news. I just sold out, and in general, my portfolio over there, I own Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and I did own Facebook, so I just didn't want as much exposure to big tech, so I just cut Facebook out, and I actually added Raytheon to my portfolio, which I'll just cover that in an upcoming video. And Twitter is another one here worth watching. It went down again today, down 2.4%. Overall, it is holding the uptrend still, although it did go down today, like I said. And this is one worth watching just to see if it's going to continue the uptrend, right? If we simply hold 45, 47, we hit that plateau, maybe we consolidate for a little bit, and then we rally back out, that could be a play, in my opinion, maybe to the mid-50s again. So Twitter, I think this is a bit of an overreaction in terms of the sell-off, and I would like to maybe pick up some shares. So overall, guys, that is it for the video. If you all enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the Discord chat, Facebook group. All of those are free, link down below. You could also get 4 stocks from WeBull. That officially ends here on the 15th of January. So all you have to do is use my link down below, deposit $100, and we both get 4 free stocks valued up to $1,600. And you could also get $30 free from M1 Finance if you want to. Again, if you want some free money, all you have to do for that is simply use the link, open up the account, and deposit any amount of money, and you get $30 free to invest in. And again, all of those are free and linked down below. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, peace out.